world was young, the mountains green, no stain yet on the moon was seen.
Then with a crash came a great ringing shout. Ra, boom, ra.
3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the dark lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.
It's talking about Tolkien, Ben.
It's talking about Tolkien, Nate. Chapter 10, Saruman rolls a charisma check.
I was going to say, are you ready to have Saruman tongue thrust your ear holes?
Well, vote in the comments which alternate episode title you liked better. But we are actually talking about the voice of Saruman.
Yeah. The penultimate chapter of Book 3.
The penultimate chapter. Yeah, there's only one more, and then we go on break.
Yeah.
Had I been smarter, I would have timed the break during October. When I do like the most work I do all year, which has robbed the season of much of the joy it once held, but that's okay. Because instead we'll get a nice end of August break. And we'll figure out what happened to Frodo and Sam.
Yeah. I wonder what those wacky kids are up to.
So, I'm going to give an extremely brief summary, and then we can talk about some specifics.
Okay. I've got something to input as well, so.
Okay, yeah. I'm. You could probably... I'll tell you what. I'll give my brief summary, and then you talk about whatever you want to talk about. Okay. So, they go up and talk to Saruman, and he tries to convince them with his magic voice that the best course of action is to surrender to Saruman and come up there and let him tell you what to do, just like the old days. And if you're not buying that, fuck you. They don't buy that, and fuck him.
And that's the end. All right.
It's kind of the
See
end.
you next week.
No, really nothing. Like, I love this chapter. First off, underrated chapter. I think it definitely hits better on the second read when you're not going for plot, when you're just really enjoying it, because all the various ways Saruman uses a combination of like a hypnotic kind of magic and just sophistry to try to come up with some argument for why they should all still be cool with him is hilarious. And it is interesting how he kind of finds his angles, but yeah, most of this is just Saruman talking.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll add a few things. So it starts out with Gandalf is going to talk to Saruman and doesn't think this is going to go anywhere. Doesn't think it's all that great. Doesn't think that we're going to get much done, but he's got to do it anyway. And hey, guys, he has his back against the wall, but he's still very powerful. So don't fuck around. Looking at you, Pippin, directly at you.
And he's also kind of like, and to a lesser extent, you, Gimli.
Yeah.
You're going in this with a lot of confidence that I don't fully understand. For a man who ran away from a guy that kind of looked like Saruman in the woods 2 nights ago. Yeah, they all want to, everybody, Gandalf asks who wants to be part of this. And
at first he's like, I'll just go alone, and then they just gradually are like, now we're all gonna go. Like, okay, just kidding, I guess.
Gandalf's like, okay. Now, we have been, a lot of people, I think the hobbits echo the audience here, where last chapter we had Merry and Pippin saying that, this Saruman guy seems like a bit of a coward. I don't find him all that intimidating. He's not too tough without all his orcs around. And Aragorn is kind of like, well, he may have miscalculated here, but he's still a pretty powerful being. And Gandalf is also warning
Yeah,
them, like,
Pippin.
just this guy may look ridiculous in defeat, but he is still a very powerful wizard.
Yeah, okay, you guys are gonna have to, like, don't laugh at his robe, okay? That'll really piss him off. He's really proud of that robe. We're just gonna let him have it,
I'm
okay?
gonna ask an important question. Do you think Saruman would have been more convincing if he weren't wearing a sequined robe?
Maybe a little bit. I think it was going to be a tough sell no matter what. I think he was always going to roll with disadvantage.
But do you think Disco Saruman
and
didn't
with like
help?
a modifier? Yeah, Disco Saruman didn't help. That's for sure.
But then again, it's like, this is olden times. They've never seen that before. Maybe it's cool.
And they didn't want to see it for hundreds, if not thousands of years more.
Yeah.
They're like, that needs to go back in the closet, and don't take it out until like the 7th or 8th age, you know?
Then
It's
take it
too
out for a
soon.
little bit and put it back.
Yeah. It's going to be really cool for like maybe a little less than a decade, and then like back in the closet it goes with all the other stuff that you don't use, and then like, another few ages. Guess I shouldn't use closet because that implies I'm saying that like gay. So
Saruman might be in the closet.
I can't imagine Saruman has any sort of like sexual urge or desire.
Yeah, the wizards are all pretty asexual.
Especially not Saruman. You think he would stick it in a lesser being?
There is kind of that, right? Like Saruman.
The only one Saruman would hit is Saruman.
Yeah. You do raise an interesting point there. But yeah, Gandalf, this is the second time we've been warned about Saruman's voice. Aragorn has mentioned that there are a few beings he would trust to stand and argue with Saruman when he's using the full powers of his voice. Gandalf also warns that Saruman's voice is magical. Basically, he's going to use a spell. And all the interested parties except the Ents, because they don't think Saruman will come out if the Ents are there.
Yeah.
Which is a fair point. If 40 or 50 20-foot tall trees were waiting to tear your limbs off, you might not come out either. But we've got the Fellowship, we've got Theoden, Eomer, and a bunch of the Rohirrim are going to watch.
Yeah. And Gandalf calls out to Saruman. Comes out looking old and frail like your beloved grandfather. To hear his voice is to hear wisdom itself, Ben. So when he starts telling Theoden that, hey, you used to take my wise counsel, you should take it again, and it's a shame that we ever came to blows.
Who even can remember what we were fighting about?
Yeah, what? I mean, I can't believe. Look, I forgive you for your aggression against me.
This is why I say this is the boldest. Like, honest to God, if one of my players was trying a persuasion check right here, I would tell them they can't. No. I wouldn't even.
Yeah, no, it's not going to work.
I wouldn't even allow the possibility of a nat 20 because no. But you forgot Saruman's power move. He is trained in the latest Six Sigma negotiating tactics. He does not answer the knocking at the door. He has exactly one servant left to act as secretary
Yeah. All right, I'll go see if he's around, but he's real busy these days, you
He
know?
has Grima Wormtongue come out and say, "What do you wish? Who is it?" And
Who is it? Who else could it be?
yeah, Theoden's like, "Who the fuck do you think it is?" Go. And of course, Gandalf says, "Go get him. No one wants to talk to you." And then Saruman comes out, and then Saruman, um,
he, he tries to make it sound like Theoden was the asshole here. He was the aggressor.
I'm gonna have to read some quotes because they're just too good, and it's all the speech. So this is how he greets Theoden. Uh, Two of you at least I know by name. Gandalf I know too well to have much hope that he seeks help or counsel here. But you, Theoden, Lord of the Mark, are declared by your noble devices, and still more fair by the countenance of the house of Eorl. O worthy son of Thengel, the thrice renowned, why have you not come before, and as a friend? Much have I desired to see you, mightiest king of the western lands, and especially in these latter years, to save you from the unwise and evil counsels that beset you. Is it yet too late?
Hey, man, I know that orcs just attacked you and they looked like they were coming out of Isengard. And all your reports say that they were here in Isengard and that I commanded them, but like I'm just your friendly grandpa just trying to give you counsel. Yeah, well,
There's a very interesting narrative device that goes on throughout this chapter, and that is Theoden opens his mouth to speak, but he doesn't say anything. And then it cuts to the riders of Rohan, and they're all like, we went in here thinking we didn't like this guy, but that was pretty friendly. And he's just like,
yeah.
I could just listen to him talk all day. This guy should have a podcast.
Goddamn
I'd
right.
let him tell me who to vote for president.
You know what? Why not him? Why not Saruman?
Well, Saruman's not interested. He's got a lot of elk meat to eat and nutraceuticals.
He does not look like a man who eats elk meat.
But he's not purple. No, he's every color. But yeah, the Riders of Rohan. They're falling for it.
And Gimli and Eomer are like, fucking serious? That's your sales pitch? Hey, sorry, why were we even fighting to begin with? You know, can't believe you killed my orc minions. You shouldn't have done that.
Well,
come on up. That's some bullshit.
There's also moments where Saruman's hypnotic power wavers whenever he shows his true emotions. Saruman knows that this one's a long shot. And there are times when he drops the guys, because when Gimli says like basically Gimli just calls bullshit, and Saruman's like, shut up. I mean
Gimli, son of Gloin.
I do not speak to you yet, Gimli, Gloin's son. Far away is your home, and small concern of yours are the troubles of this land. So like whenever somebody interrupts him, he does like crack, but then he tries to save it.
Yeah, Gandalf even says that this is one of the reasons his voice didn't work so well, is he tried to go after each of them individually.
Yeah, his strategy at this point, it does slowly emerge, but his strategy is to drive a wedge between them and to make the Rohirrim think somehow Gandalf is responsible for this.
Yeah, You wouldn't have had to fight an army of orcs if he didn't show up at your house the other day.
So Saruman again appeals to Theoden. Shall we make our counsels together against evil days and repair our injuries? But Eomer interrupts. And he says, like, we were warned about exactly this. Don't fall for it. What are you talking about? Remember Hama? Remember how Hama died and then got hacked apart after he was dead by orcs just because they thought it was funny?
Hey, Eomer, shut the fuck up. I'm not talking to you.
And
I'm
then
talking
again,
to your king.
again, he says, he says, he tries a different tactic with Eomer. He decides to be super condescending. And this is kind of going along with what we talked about. I think his name is Brett Devereaux from that Unmitigated Pedantry blog, who talked about how Saruman is this STEM guy who basically thinks because I know how rockets work, I kind of know how everything works. So don't tell me how to general, okay? I know how to general. If an ape like you could figure it out, I could figure it out, okay? And he demeans the qualities that make Eomer a lord, basically. He says, valor in arms is yours, and you win high honor thereby. Slay whom your lord names as enemies and be content. Meddle not in policies which you do not understand. But maybe, if you become a king, you will find that he must choose his friends with care. The friendship of Saruman and the power of Orthanc cannot be lightly thrown aside, whatever grievances, real or fancied, may lie behind. So he's trying a different tactic now. So he's going to demean Eomer. And this is, again, I think where Saruman, his arrogance is getting the better of him, because these medieval, this is pre-medieval, these really ancient societies, these Iron Age societies, where the strength of your arm is largely going to determine how free and fed you are. They don't really value indoorsy, bookish types as much as Saruman may wish. Like his ability to make machines and gears and cogs and all this stuff, it's not really going to impress them. They actually do have great respect for the guy who stands on the field and swings the sword and also gets swords swung at him. Like that guy has seen some shit. He's stood up to what's out there. And by insulting Eomer, I don't think you're winning any points, but Saruman cannot help but lash out against someone of lesser rank who dares to speak to him.
I love the grievances, real or imagined. Whose army could that have been anyway? You know, you were the aggressors anyway.
Well, here's another interesting thing. He's trying to do a couple of things here. So he says the power of Orthanc cannot be lightly thrown aside, and he will also say in this same paragraph, you may find the shadow of the wood at your own door next.
Yeah.
It is wayward and senseless and has no love for men. So he's trying...
Can't trust those trees.
Yeah, he's saying, these Ents, they don't scare you. This power you didn't know exists that was sleeping right next to your door, that could just as easily come for you as it came for me. And also, I am still very powerful. I still hold Orthanc by magical seal that only I have the key to. You cannot force me out of this tower. I can stay here basically indefinitely. And while I'm here, somebody's going to have to deal with me. And when you turn your back on me, I might come get you. Or we could team up. And it's not. It's the first thing he's saying that might stand a chance of ringing true. The Ents are powerful, and they are a new factor, and there's really no reason that Theoden should trust them yet, other than that they seem to have attacked his enemies. So, but all that's kind of it. Like all of Saruman's arguments hinge on the notion that somehow he's not responsible for the orcs that have attacked Rohan.
Those could have been anyone's orc armies. Are you sure it wasn't Hama? That guy kind of seemed like a piece of shit to me.
I think I saw him running around with a white hand stamped on everything. Don't look at the statue. Don't look at the statue. Don't look at the statue. I guess that's my thing is like at this point, Saruman obviously he never even could have conceived it would come to this because he put that fucking hand on those orcs. And there's just no way around that. All of these arguments would work if
Sauron was trying to deceive you into driving a wedge between us. He put that hand on there thinking like, if his army's beaten, you'll come after me. And,
honestly, at this point,
that's what happened.
At this point, I think the only way he could get out of this is saying Sauron made me do it.
Sauron mind controlled me.
Well, no, I think what he could...
I'm a ring wraith now.
We'll talk about what Gandalf offers him. I think could he
become a ring wraith, Ben? If Sauron gets the ring and Saruman has that little bitty shitty ring that he made?
Could he become a ring wraith?
Or would Sauron have any power over him?
Sauron could probably contest with his will. I think Saruman would be able to resist better than almost anyone except Gandalf. But would he be mind controlled? Perhaps. Like, could his will be dominated? Perhaps. Would he become a wraith? Probably not, because he is a spiritual being first and foremost. The men are having their natural lifespans extended. Like Sauron can't grant proper immortality that is only within the power of the one true God. So what he's doing instead is just stretching the lifespan until it's breaking
like
point.
How Frodo said, or Bilbo said he felt like he was
butter spread over too much bread.
Over toast. Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on. So this will eventually stop working, but he may be able to stretch it for 1,000 years. And it's going to be increasingly painful and exhausting because they're not meant to do that. But Saruman is immortal, so he's not going to become wraith-like. But
I see.
Yeah.
So Theoden is like, yeah, we should have peace, Saruman, and the Rohirrim are like, hell yeah, we're gonna have peace. This is great. Saruman sounds like a cool guy. Our king's in love with him. Let's do it.
Theoden literally holds up his hand and is like, let me finish.
Yeah. We can have peace when you're dead. It says it in a lot more detail.
I'm gonna read a portion of it. Theoden says, "Even if your war on me was just, as it was not, for were you 10 times as wise, you would have no right to rule me and mine for your own profit as you desired. Even so, what will you say of your torches in the Westfold, and the children that lie dead there? And they hewed Hama's body before the gates of the Hornburg after he was dead.
You seem like an asshole. I did you a favor.
When you hang from a gibbet at your window for the sport of your own crows, I will have peace with you and Orthanc." For
Saruman was like, bet, and he just jumped right off with the noose around his neck.
He says, "A lesser son of greater sires am I, but I do not need to lick your fingers. Turn," and this is, God bless Tolkien, "turn elsewhither, but I fear your voice has lost its charm." And so, yeah, I think Tolkien, there's an interesting thing here because I wonder if Tolkien was trying to hint at like maybe some modern moral or political compromises. Like, would modern societies make the deal with Saruman, even though he's full of shit, just because he's a powerful guy? And would they immediately mistrust the Ents just because they're powerful? I I don't know. I kind of, because I feel like there have been treaties like this in the past with places that, yeah, the people in this government are just truly evil and have gone way too far, but we kind of need someone in the region. So
Never, never, ever.
you know, maybe we stand
South
up.
Vietnam and South Korea were ruled by honorable, just,
Yeah.
freedom-loving people who never did any genocide, and I will not hear otherwise.
How's the King of Saudi Arabia strike you?
There may be a couple bad actors in his very large extended family that Bill Clinton had to personally get rid of, but
Benjamin
the king
Netanyahu.
himself is just fine. More like Benjamin who?
More like Benjamin.
Never heard of him.
Netanyahu.
God.
So now, last and definitely most desperate,
Saruman offers
Gandalf, my guy.
Gandalf. Hey, Gandalf. You were a prisoner once, but like, hey.
That wasn't torture. That was hot yoga. I was trying to share an experience with you.
It was enhanced interrogation.
And he really, it's frustrating to read in the way Tolkien intends it to be. For you are proud, Gandalf, and not without reason, having a noble mind and eyes that look both deep and far. Even now, will you not listen to my counsel? And you're like, oh, you've got nothing to say to me. Like he has to be in charge. If he just said like, look, okay, you got me, I fucked up, but I could help you. I know what Sauron's doing. If he had just done that, but no, he has to be in charge or it's not going to work. And Gandalf looks up like he's been half paying attention this entire time. and says, okay, what do you have to say that you didn't say at our last meeting? Or maybe you have some things you'd like to unsay? And Saruman
Sorry, I made fun of your gray robe. That wasn't cool. Well, Gandalf also laughs at him.
Yeah. He laughs he laughs long and hard.
A big hearty belly laugh. Just are you fucking kidding me?
So
You're
here's
trying to persuade me? Oh my god.
So Gandalf or Saruman says a couple of things before Gandalf laughs. He says that Gandalf is proud and does not love advice because he thinks his own wisdom is so great. That Gandalf just misunderstood what Saruman was trying to do here, and that in Saruman's eagerness to persuade Gandalf, he might have lost his cool just a little, and that one's on him. He does regret that. Because I really like you, Gandalf. You're a great guy. You're tall. You got a great beard. I love that about you.
You're solid. You're definitely the silver medal wizard.
You don't have the skull shape of an intellectual, but there's a certain low cunning you possess, Gandalf, that I admire for you. And don't forget, Gandalf, that we're both members of a high and ancient order, most excellent in Middle-earth. Maybe you've heard of it. The White Council?
The White Council?
Yeah.
I think Gandalf is wearing gray right now too.
Yeah, I think he
I
does
think he
the
reveals
reveal.
his white clothes at the
And he says, like,
climax here.
look, Gandalf, we could do so much, you and me. Let us understand one another and dismiss from thought these lesser folk. Let them wait on our decisions. For the common good, I am willing to redress the past and receive you. Will you not come up? And the narrator says, and this is epic. I'm going to read a little bit more. So great was the power that Saruman exerted in this last effort that none that stood within hearing were unmoved. But now the spell was wholly different. Everyone who hears this thinks, God, we are in the presence of two intellectual titans. Of course, Gandalf is going to go up there, and the two of them are going to work out some kind of deal that you've never seen such deal. You're going to get tired of this deal. You're going to be tired of winning. It's going to be such a good deal, and China's going to pay for it. And then, like, even in the mind of Theoden, the thought took shape like a shadow of doubt. He will betray us. He will go, and we shall be lost. And then Gandalf laughed, and the fantasy vanished like a puff of smoke. Gandalf he's dying. He's like, oh God, I wish you could see you right now. He says, Saruman, Saruman, Saruman. Literally, he says, Saruman, Saruman, Saruman. You missed your path in life. You should have been the king's jester.
And then Saruman, like, is that, can I
be like the chief jester?
Yeah.
Is there like a supervisory position? No. So Gandalf says,
I give him some advice while I am?
I have been writing a treatise on the subject of jestering. No, understand one another. I fear I'm beyond your comprehension. But Saruman,
shit, dog.
I understand you now too well. And he says, unfortunately, Saruman, I do actually remember that whole prison thing. And I do remember you talking to Sauron the whole time and that you were going to send me to Mordor. You told me this. You remember this, right? Here's the deal, though, Saruman. You can come down. You can come down and you can surrender and you can help us win this war.
Yeah. And all he asks is for 3 things, Ben.
Yes.
You have to give up your rod, the key to Orthanc, and your super cool magic ring. And Gandalf turns to Theoden and is like, I don't even want that ring, but like it means a lot to him.
I just want him to stop wearing it. It's just so silly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing that one's for
it's
him.
Kind of pathetic.
I'm doing it for him. No, he actually only demands that you surrender the key of Orthanc and your staff. And then if he does that, he can go. He can go to Mordor if he wants. He can do whatever the hell he wants. It would be good if he stayed.
Anywhere. It doesn't have to be Mordor, but it could be. I don't think Sauron's going to be too happy to see you, but you can go anywhere. Perhaps the Shire.
Well,
to beat up some hobbits.
He's like, you could go to. He says, and this is where Saruman's reasoning fails. So he says, you'll give me the key to Orthanc and your staff. These will be pledges of your conduct, and I will return them to you later if you merit them. And Saruman cannot believe. He's like, later. There's going to be a later. If I go over to Mordor, you think there's any chance you and this band of chucklefucks is going to win this war? No. I guess you might as well ask for the keys of Barad-dûr, the rods of the 5 wizard. Maybe you want bigger boots for your big dick. I I don't think.
As a matter of fact, I do.
He's like, I don't think so, Gandalf. Saruman out. And then Gandalf shouts, "Come back, Saruman." And to the amazement of the others, Saruman turned again as if dragged against his will and came slowly back to the iron railing, leaning on it and breathing hard, his face lined and shrunken.
Gandalf's exerting his own magic and is like the parent scolding his kid. Hey, I didn't say you could leave the table yet. Get back here. You haven't finished your broccoli, Saruman.
No, literally, he says, I did not give you leave to go. I'm not done talking.
Yeah.
He says, you're a fool, and your staff is broken. That one's in the extended scenes. And his staff shatters. And there's like a kind of biblical quality to that. Like, I think in a lot of like modern fantasy, they have like magic spells where you got to say magic words and everything. And he might cast a spell, but this, where he says, your staff is broken, he's just stating a fact and the universe makes it true. And I don't know if this is the intention, but the way he says that reminds me of like Moses speaking to Pharaoh, like where God tells Moses exactly, this is what you're going to say, this is what you're going to do with your staff, and then a plague is going to happen. And Moses goes and he does that. And Moses doesn't have any magic. He's not channeling mana or casting a spell. But when you do the thing God told you to do, it all falls into place. God makes it look like you did it. And I think that's what's happening here is he's just, Gandalf's standing here. He doesn't want to be standing here. Gandalf would love to just kill you right now. But God told me I got to give everybody like one chance to repent. That's a big thing with him.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one. This is your one. And you rejected it. So now your staff is broken. Bam. And your robe is only one color. Ooh, sorry. And
now your robe is only one color. That would have been awesome.
He says, behold, I am not Gandalf the Grey, whom you betrayed. I am Gandalf the White, who has returned from death. You have no color now, and I cast you from the Order and from the Council. And but don't worry, Grima Wormtongue's there with the clutch. He's going to go and grab the heaviest object within reach and huck it at Gandalf. Was that important? I hope I didn't throw anything important. And he does throw a very heavy object. And it's this big bowling ball kind of thing. And you'd think it would shatter when it's, thrown like 300 feet and then bounces off the stone stairs of Orthanc that cannot be broken even by the Ents. But it doesn't. In fact, it breaks the stairs of Orthanc and then it rolls to the bottom. And I think at that point, Grima might have realized he fucked up.
And then who should grab that bowling ball but our good friend Pippin?
He's just trying to help.
And the quote is, "Don't handle that," Gandalf shouts at him as he's picking it up.
I think my favorite thing is after they leave, everybody's like looking at Gandalf, and Gandalf's just like, this is a direct quote, well, that's done. He just really did not want to do this. I actually really enjoyed it because it seems like Gandalf, I did not catch this on the first time, but it really seems like Gandalf is being made to give this guy a second chance, I think by God himself. And like, if it were up to Gandalf, he would not have done that. But Gandalf takes the Palantir from Pippin. Tells Pippin kind of rudely. Pippin didn't do anything this time.
Nah, he did. He was gonna though. We all saw it.
He says to Pippin, like, give me that. I didn't tell you to touch it. I was just handing it to you, dick. Maybe you should get yourself a voice of Saruman, you know? They asked, like, is it okay to leave him in there? And Gandalf's like, it would have been really cool if he joined us. There's a lot of treasures in there. But I think even if we ransacked the place, we couldn't do much better than this ball here. And then you hear Grima scream and the sounds of an old man punching him. And Gandalf says, it seems Saruman thinks so too. That is how they come to get the Palantir in the book, which is way funnier than in the movie. In the movie, it probably makes more sense where it rolls out of Saruman's sleeve after he's dead. In the book, he literally just throws it at him, not knowing what the fuck it is. But I enjoyed that. And then Gimli has a moment with Treebeard where he finally gets to meet Net. He finally gets to talk to a tree the way he's always wanted. And he's like, I've got to come see your forest. And Treebeard's like, anytime, man. Come on in.
You're talking about Legolas. Not
Legolas is like, yeah, I got to check out your forest anytime, man. And he's like, and Gimli's going to come with me. And Treebeard's like, oh, no, no dwarves. No dwarves with their dwarf axes. I don't like them. I mean, that might sound racist, but you know what? It is what it is. I don't like dwarves. And Legolas is like, oh, Treebeard, you silly bitch. No, Gimli's axe is for chopping down orcs. Why, he got nigh on 41 of them? 42 of them the other day. And Treebeard's like, well, I also hate orcs. And that may seem a little racist. And it is. I actually want to genocide the orcs. I think the world would be better off without them. So you know what, Gimli? You're slightly better than an orc. Come on in.
Hell yeah.
And Gandalf's like, well, I'm going to have to take these two little idiots off your hand, Treebeard. Treebeard's like, can I keep them? Come on, man. Treebeard has actually a very touching moment where...
And if you ever go back to the Shire, see if you can find me some Entwives.
Entwives would be great. But yeah, Treebeard has a touching moment where he says he fears that in his old age, he has become positively hasty because he has, in such a short time, already grown fond of these hobbits.
Normally, it takes me hundreds of years for me to even acknowledge someone as a person.
And you might think that's racist. I don't know why I've made Treebeard a racist. But then they make a big arrangement with the Ents the Ents are going to guard Saruman. That was a mistake. But for the moment, it looks like that's going to work out just great. Until Saruman
Yeah, we'll
asks,
probably never see him again.
Yeah, Saruman's like, I want to leave. And Treebeard's like, okay. I didn't know he was going to ask. Gandalf didn't tell me what to do.
He didn't even use the voice.
Asked.
I just, he just asked, and I was like, okay.
But Treebeard does kind of sympathize. He sympathizes with Saruman a little bit. And Gandalf says something. And there is a guy on YouTube, channels named In Deep Geek, and he's done many series on Lord of the Rings. He has actually great Lord of the Rings videos. One of them was like, what if so and so gets the ring, and one of them was, what if Treebeard got the ring? What would Treebeard even want to do?
He would cover the world in forests at a glacial pace.
You have not plotted to cover the world with your trees and choke all other living things. So that could be, it's interesting. That could be a dark future for if Treebeard had been evil. The forest could grow unchecked and destroy all other life, leaving no room for the free folks' crops, for example.
Yeah. But then you'd never get your Entwives.
I think that's actually what that's what the first fight with the Entwives was about. It was
Yeah.
like, I think we should, like, forests are awesome. Can you ever imagine wanting anything more than a forest? And the Entwives were like, I can. Have you ever
I
heard
want
of
a
a
garden.
farm? Yeah, have you ever
Yeah.
heard of a garden? And they're like, a garden is like a tiny forest.
And they're like, you just don't get me. I'm going to move back in with my mom.
And then they did. And they all died.
And then they're like, yeah, they'll eventually come back. And then it's like 1,000 years later, and they're like, I don't think they're coming back.
It's 1,000 years later. They go to where they go to the mom's house. The mom's house is burned to the ground. And they're like, oh, shit.
Nah, they forgot where the mom's house even was. Been so fucking long.
But that is the chapter.
Yeah. Voice of Saruman.
Saruman fails a charisma check.
Yeah, you're right. He really shouldn't have just even been allowed, you know? Like, I want to try persuasion. Crit 1. Okay, but first, I want to try deception. Crit 1. All right, hold on. How about intimidation? It's like, stop.
No, the riders, Rohan, they were listening to me.
Are they going to betray the king?
What do I get for that?
You got a nat 20. Gandalf is now laughing in your face.
One more try. Crit fail again. Grima throws out your magical artifact.
Want to keep trying? It's going so great for you.
Do I still have my cloak of many colors?
No, you have no colors now.
Oh. Well, you're a shitty DM.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Craig. Go home.
Yeah.
Told you not to split from the party and raise an army of orcs.
With that, I'll have to leave. We'll have to see if maybe sometime later in the book we ever hear Saruman's voice again.
The road goes ever on and on, down from the door which began. Now far ahead the road is gone, and I must follow it, if I can, pursuing it with eager feet until it joins some larger way, where many paths and errands meet. And whither then, I cannot say.